Grand Rising World. Happy Sunday. So today is an important day at church. It's the doctor's birthday, and this is where everybody's wearing white and we go with pure intentions and bless the family. And so um I've had a good rest, and now I don't have good luck with white. I really don't. My robe is white, but that's about it. Um, and typically, because I don't wear white, I don't do my makeup as though I'm wearing white. So this is a whole new experience. I'm going to let you a little bit more into my world. My private little world is I like opera and classical music, but I don't listen to it all the time. However, this morning I woke up with a craving for Bach, so I have Bach in the background today. Mm. So let's start with some face oil because that's always where I begin. I had a good rest. I take naps, so I think I had about 3-4 hours. It's just how it is. Oh, I need my mirror again. So yeah, I just figure, while I get ready, it's nice just to connect and you know may give some people some of my makeup ideas. Connection's nice. Yeah. And then I can always come back and say how it was, right? It's kind of update. It's like, hey, this is what's going on today. This is how it was. Because last night was great. I woke up this morning feeling really good. I did my hair, took the blue off, put white on. Still got the blue toenails though. Did my hair. It's all done. All ready. Jake's still asleep, but he'll be getting up soon. He has to. See, he works this morning, but he works at 10 and he works really close to the church. So he'll come for partial Bible study and then he heads to church or to work. Okay. Makeup for white outfits. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, what do I do? Well, I guess I would start with a white ombre. That's a good start for my eyeshadow. So, not sure when, how many years from now, who's gonna find this video. But I hope you're waking up and having a really good Sunday, and I don't know. You make good choices today in whatever year it is when you find this video. And just know that life is just a series of moments. And every choice determines the next moment. You gotta look at choices like doors, right? And you don't have to walk through every door that presents itself. You know? A lot of times, life is just, it's all a bunch of tests. And these tests they're not punishment, it's so we can learn, right? It's when the soul refuses to learn from their mistakes that you get stuck in loops. And if you look at every choice like a door and you get stuck in a loop, it's like being stuck in a room. You gotta look at it that way, right? So when we don't learn from our decisions or maybe previous choices and we neglect to take responsibility, then we're choosing to be stuck in a room, an emotional room in our subconscious mind, and saying, no, I don't want to leave this room. The easiest way to change your reality, if you don't like your reality, is you need to change your belief system. The reason being is your belief system creates your reality, and that's just truth. So, and that's where it's so hard for people, because your belief system is one of the hardest things in the world to change. But then you gotta remember, when we create our belief systems, some of the belief systems you create for yourself, you created when you were a child, right? And that's why it's so important to update our belief systems, right? And it's through experience that, you know, through taking risks and experience that you grow. And maybe how you saw something a couple of years ago, you no longer see the same way. However, if you don't change your belief systems, that's when people just start making excuses up, and basically those choices or doors are levels. Say Earth School. So it's a level it's a grade that you're saying, I want to repeat this grade. Well, you must really like that grade if you want to keep repeating it, right? No. So I think to myself, of all the experiences I've had in life, is because I'm open. I'm open to experience life. And that means I have no problems saying, I don't want to hang out in this room no more. I'm going to walk out of this door and make another decision to change. And change is like leaving a room and deciding to check out what's behind another door. But be cautious, because those doors have traps. And if you get stuck in them, that's where problems happen. You know, my grandma once said, the more difficult you make your life, the harder it is to be free. And it's so true. Because if you see life as all situations is so permanent, then you become too comfortable. And then you set your roots in that permanency, right? And once you set roots and not be fluid, that's when you have all these attachments, and you literally don't even see it being possible to leave those rooms of choices you've made, right? And it's okay to say, I made a bad choice, right? That's okay. The first step is in acknowledging you made a bad choice. But then what do you do with that acknowledgement? Are you going to make a better choice? Or are you just going to make excuses for that bad choice and build your life around that bad choice, so you can become adaptable to a bad choice that you can just leave, right? You know, we hold ourselves captive. I don't know if it's through guilt or obligation or whatever it is, but the thing is we ultimately come into this world alone, and we leave this world or incarnation alone. So if you're making your decisions based on other people, well, that's just silly. That's silly. Especially through guilt. So many people be like, convince somebody they can't live without the other person. Well, to me, that's insane. Because obviously they were living before they met the person, right? And that's where, if that's not a red flag to people that maybe you're with an unstable person, I don't know what is. Because people have to know how to live without people. And the important thing about that is, because you never know what tomorrow brings. If you convince yourself that you cannot live without somebody else, what would you do if all of a sudden they got into a car accident? You know? What would you do if you got that dreaded phone call that they were gone and you were never going to see them again? They were never coming home, and you have convinced yourself you can't live without somebody. That's a scary thought. Because now you've just held yourself captive, right? And I think that's why it's so important to appreciate having people in your life, but realize that you have to be complete on your own. Nobody's going to complete you. No. And if you are looking for someone else to complete you, it means you're running from something. You're running from something. And when you do that, you count on someone else to completely you, giving all your power away to that person. No different than waiting around for someone to change. If your life circumstances aren't up to what's bringing you happiness, and you're waiting on someone else to change for that happiness to occur, you could be waiting lifetimes. That's why you have to be the change you want to see in the world. You can't depend on somebody else to be the change that you need in your life. You can't. That's just, to me, that's absolute silliness. Yeah. Okay. White. It's very white. Very white. Morning, Jake. How was your sleep? Hi, Phoenix. Yeah. I see you. Okay. Hi, baby. She's so excited this morning. Yeah. Okay, Phoenix, stop. She's had her bone. She's gone outside. She's all hyper because Jake's up now. See, Jake gets up and the whole energy in the house changes. He gets home from work, the whole energy in the house changes. He doesn't understand how different it is. This dog reacts to him. Sometimes it's a little too much for me. Anyway, so that's one thing I was thinking about this morning. It's about how your beliefs create your reality. And that's why you got to update your beliefs, just like you have to update your moral compass. Or you're just choosing not to grow, right? Maybe that comes to the point where you got to actually ask those deep questions. What's the meaning to life? Why am I here? What's going on behind all this? And the answers will come. I think we're going to skip on the eyeliner. I think we'll keep it clean. I'm feeling the need to do that. Because I don't wear white. Yeah. What else? What other advice can I give this morning? I don't know. I just woke up. Be adaptable. Know that nothing's permanent. Like, there's no situation in life that's permanent. And that's why you basically just take the blessing and the lesson and go on to another door of reality to experience. It's all about understanding you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And when you actually adopt that as a reality, then you just start really wanting to experience life. It makes you want to fully engulf yourself in the human experience. I don't know why, and not anymore, but I definitely felt victim to assuming that tomorrow always came. And I've changed that view so much down to I used to buy groceries for 2 weeks. Now, no, get groceries for 3 or 4 days. Besides the fact I've had fridges and deep freezes just totally clock out on me out of the blue. And to have a full deep freeze filled with food and then all of a sudden have to throw that food out, like you weren't planning for the destruction of your deep freeze. And that's what I mean, like that's little things about living more in the now, right? So let's say, for an example, you go grocery shopping for 2 weeks. How do you know that the food you bought for those 2 weeks is what you're actually going to eat? And then, so what you've kind of done is held yourself in a moment of time when you decide to go grocery shopping. So that's the thing about being flowing and living in the moment. It's about everything. It's about how you grocery shop. Are you going to hold grudges? Are you going to be angry forever? Because forever might be till tomorrow, Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and surrender it. That's why I say give it to God. If it's something that's overpowering your thought process and you become obsessed with a certain thought, well, that's holding you back. And that's like intrusive thoughts. And just, if it's too much, then surrender it and move on. And trust. It's about having faith and believing that things in cause and effect, believing that the truth will always prevail. And that's truly, that's where the universal law of detachment is so important. See, when you actually understand that law and you apply it into your life all around, it makes sense. So that's my big things today. The universal law of detachment. Research it. It's important. Apply it to everywhere in your life you can. And then truly understanding that your belief system creates your reality. And you do that, then you're on your way to spiritual freedom. Yeah. All right. Almost done. Jake, can you let her outside, please? I've let her out, but she seems to have a lot of energy around you this morning. Yep. And don't be scared of the unknown. The only thing to fear in life is fear itself. Truth. We're going to put this like purpley maroon wine. It's wine. We're going to put this color over for the hue. I was in the mood for Bach this morning, Jake. Jake, why are you so rude? I'm just going to call it out right now. I'm speaking to you.
I don't want to wake up me on a video.
Well, you know what?
So I have to get ready.
Then go get ready. But you've been rude and I'm not going to tolerate it. And I'm not pressing stop. Last 2 days I've tried to talk to you, you just ignore me. You know what? I'm not pressing stop. You can't always be known as the, perfect little man. Because you can be very rude sometimes. So stop it. I'm not putting up with crap from no one no more. Not even him. Done. I'm done in 2 minutes. Can you handle it? I think guys PMS too, just saying. I mean, he is 22. If he doesn't want to wake up to videos, he can move out and get his own place, right? Right. I think he forgets that. Anyway, on to it, because I'm not choosing to accept his mood as my reality. There's a good example. There you go. You're going to have people like that are going to come into your life, because I've been talking to you guys well before you woke up, and I've been in a great mood. So this little scab decides to come out and spread his little blah, low vibrational energy. Are you going to accept that as your reality? No. I'm going to completely ignore him until he changes his energy. Because he's misaligned with me right now. And when he chooses to realign with me, well, then we'll be on the same page. There you go. I just got to give you an example. Doesn't mean you don't love someone, but it means you don't have to align yourself with their low vibrations. I'm so glad I got to use that for an example, because I guarantee you, before we get to church, he's going to switch that vibration pretty quick. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. Thanks for letting me use you for an example. I refuse to be fake. I'm not going to press stop on this and then say, why were you like that? No, I don't live my life that way. But I also am not holding him to that mood, and like hold him to it until he changes it. But I don't hold grudges either. So when he changes his mood, well, we'll be back to being friends again. And I think this is the look for wearing all white today. Yeah. And last but not least, I gotta put a white necklace on. I never take the crystal off, but I'll put this over top. There we go. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. If you have service today, I hope you enjoy it. And if not, research your universal laws, law of detachment, and an understanding that your beliefs truly do create your reality. And life is nothing but a series of choices. So if you make a bad choice, you can rectify it by making a better choice. And the more difficult you make your life, the harder it is to be free. All right, have a wonderful day. Love ya. Bye.